taxes! Don't even get me started on taxes and how many taxes I pay! Taxes, taxes, taxes! What are you talking about? You don't even have a job! Oh, I'm just practicing for when I'm a millionaire! Yeah!
I like how you think, Green Bear.
Yeah, I think big. Yeah, I'm dizzy now.
Well, Pink Bear, not so good with the math, but we're working on that. Taxes, taxes, where the money goes. Ms. Colby asked her class of third graders, there she is, tell me what the following things have in common. A highway, a library book, a park, a soldier's salary. Think about who pays for these things. Where does the money come from? Several hands shot in the air, waving around like just don't care. Sharon, what do you think? Taxes, Sharon said. All of those things are paid for by the government with money from taxes. Right. Our government collects money or taxes from people and businesses. Then the government spends that money on goods and services that benefit everyone. Ms. Colby asked the class to brainstorm about the ways tax dollars are spent, and she wrote their ideas on the board. Pretty soon, the entire board was full. What does the pig here say? The pig here says taxes existed even before money did. What? In ancient Mesopotamia, people were required to bring cows and sheep to the tax collectors. Ha! You know what I have to say about that? Moo. How taxes are spent. Okay, this is the board. Community workers like firefighters, rescue squads, police officers. Woo, 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 woo. Yes, just like that. Public schools, libraries. Ooh, library.
Hey, that's where you get your books, isn't it?
It is.
Ha! So you're using tax dollars for my millions.
Yes, I am. Libraries, parks, transportation and buildings, building and fixing roads and bridges, plowing and sanding highways and city streets, school needs like paying teachers and staff, buying books, supplies, and computers. Oh, this is a big one. Keeping public water safe. You don't want dirty water. Making sure food in restaurants and grocery stores is safe. That's why they have inspectors, and inspectors get paid for with tax dollars. Making sure medicines are safe. Ooh, that's a big one. Helping people who have been through a natural disaster, when you see it on the news, like tornadoes, earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, droughts. The court systems, jails, prisons, Social Security, like for our grandparents when they want to retire. Also for disabled people and orphans. National Defense, and that's Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard. And also for aid in helping other countries. That's just some of the ways our taxes are spent. Ms. Colby explained, there are 3 main levels of government, federal, state, and local.
Oh, is there going to be a quiz on this?
Eventually.
I knew it.
Okay, federal, state, and local. The federal government is national, affects everyone living in the United States. But it doesn't control everything. The states where you live also have a lot of power. And the states then, in turn, give power to the cities and the counties. So it goes from big to medium to really small and local to right where you are. So, people pay taxes to all 3? Philip asked. In one way or another, yes, Miss Colby replied. I'm going to let someone else tell you more about that. We've got a surprise guest today. Oh, I wonder who this is, huh? Todd's mom came into the classroom. Hello, Todd's mom. This is Mrs. O'Brien. She has an important job with the IRS. Oh. So Mrs. O'Brien took over. IRS stands for Internal Revenue Service. It's the agency in charge of collecting federal taxes. Internal means within the United States. Revenue is a fancy word for the tax dollars the government receives.
Oh boy. You're going to have to repeat that so I can write it all down.
Okay. And the pig here says in the year 2000, the IRS, where Mrs. O'Brien works, collected more than $2 trillion from 226 million tax returns. That's a lot of money, yo. A lot of money. Who wants to ask the first question? Me, said Jamie. Who decides how much people pay in taxes? Well, said Mrs. O'Brien, citizens elect senators and representatives who make bills or propose tax laws. Then the president or governor signs them into the law. On the local level, people often vote directly on tax issues. If we don't think our taxes are fair, we can vote for someone we think will do a better job. And the piglet here says, taxation was one of the issues that led to the Revolutionary War. Totally true. The Revolutionary War, when the U.S. seceded from England and decided to be its own country. It was one of the major issues was over taxation. Kelby asked, what kind of taxes are there? And which part of the government gets which taxes? Well, the federal government gets most of its money from income taxes. Every year, people who earn money need to report their income to the government. They have to pay part of their income to the United States Treasury. That process is called filing a tax return, says Ms. Colby. And, yeah, when you see in a paycheck, you see that they have taken the taxes out sometimes. And the Treasury is in charge of taking in the money. And what is Piglet here saying? People pay income taxes depend at different rates, different amounts, depending on how much they make. People who earn a lot of money pay a higher percentage than those who don't earn as much. And now she's pointing out here federal government and state government. And Audrey asks, don't people pay income tax to states too? And Mrs. O'Brien answered, in most states, yes. However, not every state collects income taxes. That's true. It's a little confusing, but the federal government always collects taxes. That's the big income tax that we all rush to pay on April 15th. But the state government, some of them charge state taxes and some of them do not. Let's see, Ms. Colby here said, states also raise money through sales taxes. A sales tax is an extra charge you pay when you buy something. Many cities have sales taxes too. You'll always see them at the bottom of a receipt. State and local governments also have user fees. These only apply to the people who are actually using a government service. If you buy a fishing license, you're helping to support programs that keep lakes healthy and stocked with fish. It says here, Piglet says, the average sales tax, including both state and local taxes, is 6.25%. I wonder if that's going to change. I've heard my parents talk about property taxes, said Ryan. What are those? Well, properties, houses. So let's see what Mrs. O'Brien's explanation is. Property taxes are based on the value of a person's home or land and collected by the local governments. These fees have to be paid every year. It's not just individuals. Businesses have to pay property taxes too. A lot of that money goes to pay for public schools. It also pays for things like police officers, firefighters, streets, sewers, parks. Piglet here says, renters pay rent to the landlords, and the landlords use some of that money to pay property taxes. In case you were wondering, because you pay property taxes if you own a home, but if you rent a home, you're not paying them, but the landlord is, and whoever, the landlord, the owner of the building that you're renting an apartment in. And so part of the money they're paying in rent is really also going to property taxes. Everybody pays a little bit. Tax revenues are always moving, Mrs. O'Brien said. While a school gets money from local property taxes, it also receives money from state and federal governments. In return, the teachers and staff pay sales taxes on what they buy, property taxes on their homes, and income taxes every year. It all goes round and round. The goal of a tax system is to create balance so that all people have their basic needs met. Ms. Colby stood up. Speaking of basic needs, it's time for lunch. Thanks, Mrs. O'Brien. And it says here, Piglet says, the Revenue Act of 1942 required employers to withhold taxes from employee paychecks. This created a regular flow of money that was used to pay the cost of World War II. Oh, so during World War II, that's when they started taking the money out of the paycheck instead of waiting the whole year to get it at the end. So, the government and you, households, businesses, and the government all connect. When you pay taxes, the government uses some of the money for services and payments for businesses. In turn, the businesses employ people, giving them income, which they spend and are now taxed on. You see, it just goes around and around. Fun facts. Taxpayers have a right to privacy. No one except authorized tax personnel can look at your tax return. Very interesting. Oh, they have a lot of fun facts here, but I think that your brain is ready to explode, is it not?
I'm exhausted. I don't understand. So, wait a minute. So, we pay taxes on homes?
That's right.
We pay taxes on businesses?
Yes.
When we buy stuff?
Yes.
And we pay taxes to the government and maybe in our state and maybe in our city and maybe in the federal level?
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. But do you think about ever the things that you use with the tax money?
No. Like what? Oh, you mean like libraries? Oh, and like the parks? And like maybe the police when you're in trouble? Or the firemen if there's a big fire?
Exactly. Or how about the streets that you ride on?
Oh yeah, my bike streets. Yeah, I think about that.
And what about your school teachers?
Oh yeah, they need to get paid too, don't they?
Although I'm sure they would do it gladly for free.
That was a joke. I know it was a joke. She didn't really mean that. I don't get it.
All right, guys, that's enough taxing conversation, don't you think?
Yeah, I gotta go make millions now. I gotta pay that huge tax bill that I'm imagining. Oh, I guess I'll do something important too. Yeah, real important.
All right, kids. See you next time on this taxing edition of KidTime Storytime.